Welcome to the Talkin Trash Addiction Recovery Podcast. We suffered in silence. Now we recover out loud.
Not. Hey everybody, welcome to Talkin Trash. I'm your host, Tim Snyder. Jimmy is in the jails helping youth and whatnot, and my friend Will is going to help me get through this thing. Hi Will.
Hello.
How are you? What's going on?
Absolutely fabulous. How are you?
Good. Yep. Hi Jennifer Mansfield. Your friend's on here.
Hi Jennifer.
She's very
Where's your
sweet.
brother?
Yep. He's working overnights, so he's like not around. Yeah, I don't know. Where are we at? 221. Everything's going good. Will, how is the preamble? How is it that I got it? Never mind.
Recover out loud.
This is our humble broadcast, where ethics and personal anonymity are of the utmost importance. We run this podcast as an act of service to those whose lives have been affected by addiction. We don't do it for profit or notoriety. We place principles before personalities. We benefit from this podcast just as much as anyone else. We all work programs and choose to sacrifice our own anonymity to spread the word that recovery is possible. We do this thing in an attempt to show, as living examples, that no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That's the 9th step promise. It's our creed we abide by here on Talkin Trash. We feel called to uphold AA and NA principles. We firmly believe that you can only keep what you have by giving it away. Please join us in a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer.
God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
All right, let's go around and meet the team of Talkin Trash.
Hi. This is me and you.
Well, we're down 2 tonight, so we're just we're gonna roll 2. That's all right. Too many on the screen as it is. Our who's first on tap here, Will? I think it's you.
Come on.
I forget things. Bradley Mansfield. Bradley is our director of cursing. He is he's working overnight. He's not here tonight. We do love him, and we're he stays in touch with us. He's working. It's hard. Life's hard. That's Brad. Way to go. Coming up on 4 years sober one of these days.
Hello.
Next on deck is Jimmy Leibel. Jimmy is from Saskatchewan, Canada. He's our community, relations coordinator or something. He handles the people because I'm not really good with that. But he's my bestest friend, beside Will, and the other one, Brad. And the next is Will Douglas, Willie D, and the place to be. Will's busy, He's I can always count on him though. I do love this guy. Yep, he's coming up on 3 years sober himself, and we're proud of him. That's it's not easy. Me, I run the show. I give back what was so freely given to me in order to keep what I've been given. We're a high energy podcast. We mess around a lot. Kind of try and keep it light because addiction is brutal, and so now that we have this ability to share together in this way, it's a privilege, and it's saved forever in time, and it's just a fun thing. Life is
forever.
Life is good. Tanya.
You remember the same line?
Tanya is backstage. We're gonna bring her in right after we read our daily reflection.
Daily Reflection. Productions is an AA-driven enterprise of some sort. It's not ours, but we like you long time. Let's read Daily Reflapjacks here on the Talkin' Trash Pod Flaps.
Hitting the post, that's nice. An ever-growing freedom. That is our reading for today, which permits us with humility as our guide to move out from ourselves towards others and toward God. That's from the 12 and 12, page 76. When I finally asked God to remove those things blocking me from Him and the sunlight of the Spirit, I embarked on a journey more glorious than I ever imagined. I give thanks for the joy that I can be useful today. Will, what does that mean to you? An ever-growing
The way that you read is like the way that my mind here reads it too. Like I didn't understand a damn thing you read.
Will, when you first walked in the rooms and you heard the 12 and 12 and all this shit, did it turn you off initially, or did
absolutely? It turned me off.
I'm sorry. Now. Whoopsie. I know, but we're not anti-AA, right? By any means.
Like,
but
I hate school. What is this? This is like the 10 Commandments, Or
yep. You're not great at it. It's okay. Blair Stepp. Hey, buddy. Haven't seen him in a minute. Blair. Jennifer. Tanya is amazing, guys. Larry. How the Aaron Ryder land. Larry's a pisser.
We used to call, when I lived in Florida, we used to call weed? Larry. You got that Larry.
You call it Larry?
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't love something more. You're frozen. Your dial-up is like, doing that thing. You look like this. Hold on. All right. So our guest, I would
is that any better?
No, idiot. There you go. Okay, all better. All right, Tanya, we're gonna bring you in here, honey. Put you on stage. Very exciting. Our friend Tanya's back, right on stage. Let me get your graphic out of the way. Hello, Tanya. Are you safe? Are you okay?
I think so.
Good enough. It's nice.
Time travel. That's what it was.
We all time travel.
I held my hand to the stone and yelled Jamie, but nothing happened.
So we have a treat on our hands here tonight. We get to talk with guests backstage before the show and get to know them a little bit. And she has oh my God, is she one of us? But she's one of our guiding lights. She'll tell us not to do some shit. You know what I mean? But she's also sweet as pie and will be there for you if you need her. I can tell. I can tell all that in 5 minutes. So
always, dude. Always.
I cannot wait to hear your story. I'm going to yield the floor to you to share your experience, strength, and hope. So everyone, let's welcome our new friend here, Tanya B. Welcome, Tanya, to the program.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's probably what I'm here for. So, my story is probably a little bit different than some people's. My parents didn't drink. I grew up with no alcohol in the home whatsoever. My mom's father was an alcoholic. He lived in Ontario. We loved it when he came home for the summer because he was a happy drunk. You know what I mean? The grandkids loved him and, the whole bit. He would walk around with a tweed jacket in the summertime, lopsided, and made a lot of trips to the bathroom. I mean, the man had a bad bladder.
Yeah.
And then later on, we figured out why the jacket was lopsided. There was a full bottle in one pocket and an empty one in the other.
Clever.
But other than that, there was no alcohol in our lives whatsoever. As a teen, as a young adult, you go out with your friends, you have a few rum and cokes, you throw up in the bushes, and you're fine. Normal stuff like that. I was about 33 years old, and I'm 58 now, when I had my first glass of wine.
Are you? You're right.
30.
I was gonna say, you know what? She'll see it similar, but no, that is very unique.
I was 33 years old. I was my husband, who's a lot older than me. He's been sober now for about 35 years. So there was another reason not to drink.
Right.
And but it got to the point where our home life wasn't that good. Our marriage was, suffering. And I had my son to keep me busy, right? He was a
Yep.
teenager, had my son to keep me busy. Any given weekend, I would have 6, 8 kids in sleeping bags on my living room floor. They all called me mom. So I
Yeah.
had that to focus on.
Right.
When my son graduated high school and he and his friends all, moved away to go to university, I didn't know what to do. I had nothing to focus on, right? And one day I was visiting my mother-in-law, and this is just, you guys, you're going to say, what? She and my sister-in-law opened a bottle of wine, and I
Right.
had a glass. And at first I thought, it tastes like dusty grapes. But then it hit, then that feeling hit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, give me another glass. And then it was almost right away that feeling on the tongue when you're drinking a nice dry white wine, right?
Yep.
And I felt really good. So a few days later, I thought, man, I'm going to treat myself to a bottle. And then another bottle.
You've earned it.
Right. And another bottle. And I think I didn't have I was diagnosed with depression a number of years before that. And I didn't really have the wherewithal or the strength to stand on my own and stand up for myself. So I was letting a lot of people treat me badly.
Right.
But the wine helped me cope. Right? You have a few sips of that, and you're like, dude, what the fuck ever, right? And before I knew it, it got to the point where at my worst, I was drinking up to approximately 12 liters a week.
12 liters a
like
week.
3-4 liter boxes a week.
I'm thinking of the bottles, like Coke bottles.
No.
2 or 3 liter.
Yeah. Well, let me
Yeah,
do this.
the bottles. Here's how when I was still drinking the bottles. Here was how I reasoned it. They're 750 milliliters. That's a bottle of pop.
Sure.
Right? Nobody would say anything if I drank a 750 ml bottle of pop.
Yep.
Right? But there's the wine. So that's how I reasoned with it. Okay, well, it's only the size of a bottle of pop. Who cares if I open a second one?
Right.
And then it became a daily way of coping. Every day. I would literally watch the clock because I knew I shouldn't drink before 11 o'clock.
Right.
But come 11 o'clock, I had my wine. And it got to the point where I never had a glass out of my hand. I panicked. If that 4-liter box got down to like a liter, I panicked. I had to find some way to go and get some. Did I drive a little toasted sometimes? I'm ashamed to say yes.
We all did.
There, I can hear you now. I'm ashamed to say yes, but I did. It completely took over my life.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with that. I didn't want to. I had a relative who would come to my house in the morning, and she would stay till 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Hated it. Now I would say to her, could you please go home? At the time, I would drink. And it used to be at one time, we would go through 2 pots of tea. Now she was going through 1 pot of tea, and I was going through 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah, there it is.
During that day. And it continued to the point where I couldn't function without it. I had to, and as I said, like our marriage wasn't that great, and whatever. And the job that I was at, I accepted a transfer here to Halifax from the Valley. By that time, I was drinking so much at night that I was still a little wobbly in the morning. And I now have, I can set boundaries now, but at the time, I couldn't. I started doing stand-up comedy.
I love it.
But I haven't done it since I've been sober because I'm scared that I was only funny when I was drunk, right?
Yeah, I get it.
The 2 comedy shows that I did, I had packed crowds. It was at the Fringe Festival here in Halifax. And I mean, I had a packed house. I was hilarious. But was it the booze or was it really me?
You'll never know until you try.
Exactly.
I know. I'll never know till I try. I am writing again, guys. I am writing again.
Baby
That's
steps, baby
good.
steps.
Yeah.
Yeah. After quite a few years away from it. And I thought, there, my life is complete. I belong in Halifax. I'm a performer. I hated it in the Valley. From the time I was growing up, I hated it because I knew I was different, not
Yeah.
better than anybody else or not, but I was different. And I never felt that I belonged there. So the minute that I got a chance to transfer here, I did it. And my husband and I temporarily separated, and I moved up here. Well, then there was nobody to watch me drink. Me,
Oh, that's a problem.
me.
Yep.
Yeah. So the minute my ass hit the chair after work, the bottle came open. My husband and I got back together. I continued to drink, and my emotions started to fall apart.
Mm.
I couldn't control my emotions. I think it was the wine. My face was so swollen with booze that my eyes were, and I
Jeez.
have pictures where my face is just out like this and my eyes are, I was swollen. It was that bad. I promised my doctor I would quit. I lied to my doctor, told her I quit.
Yeah.
Lied to my therapist, told her I quit. Went out and bought winemaking supplies because it was cheaper than buying it off the shelf.
Holy shit.
And then, I have lots of different stories that I'm sure nobody really wants to hear, but I realized one day I was sitting in therapy and I apologized for lying to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I don't know what to do anymore. Do you think I'm an alcoholic? And she said, do you? And it hit me. I was ready. I said, yeah, I think I am. September 16th, 2015.
Yeah. Wow.
So I came home in tears, but came home. I took the last of that wine and I dumped it. And that was it for me. I was ready. I didn't go through AA. I didn't, I dealt with things in therapy. And the longer I go, I think, my God, I missed so much by depending on the booze.
Right.
And when it wasn't the wine, I would take can we say strong White Russians?
You can, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Needing it to go to sleep at night.
Right.
Being passing out and being late for work. One of the other employees banging on my door. Get the hell out of bed. Yeah, I don't. I do miss it, but I don't miss the effects it had in the after effect. I was ready to let it go.
Right. So I think I discovered what our issue is, and I think it's Will, so I kicked him out.
All right.
I definitely had some questions for you. So starting at your 30s, I also started drinking when I was 30, but I started really drinking after my divorce when I was like 37. So I picked it up much later in life, and what I found out is I'm a terrible drinker. I don't know how to drink. I get DUIs and crash cars. I could be a drug addict for 20 years successfully. I was terrible drinking, and it got me into recovery. So can you maybe elaborate on what that experience was like once you got sober and you looked behind you? What did you see behind you that kept you sober?
Complete regret.
Yeah.
Absolute complete regret.
Yeah.
I did things like I was mad at my sister and I hacked her email. I was drunk. I was drunk.
God.
I don't know to this day if she's ever, and sis, if you're watching this,
Now
I'm sorry again. No, she knew. She knew.
Yeah.
We didn't speak for a number of years.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
I was mad at her, so my emotions weren't my own.
Mm-hmm.
They were being fueled by the booze.
Yeah.
And like I said, wine was my thing.
Yeah.
But you get me with a Scrabble board and a big strong White Russian, and I'm not talking about the man.
Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
That's what's fun,
Yeah, total, complete regret. Things that I wish I could go back and change. And I know I saw something on here that you guys had, which was, or maybe Jim put it on, was very wise, that we have to accept the past. I'm still having trouble with that 11 years later. I did things that I regret so much that I'm still dealing with the guilt. And maybe that's what keeps me sober. I don't know. I just know that do I miss it? Yes. Do I want to do it again? Not for all the tea in China, as they say.
Good on you. I
Yeah.
love this quote. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence, and that makes so much sense to me because I would catch myself living in the past. I'm talking early recovery, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm not making any
what's
progress
funny?
forward. Yeah.
I was outside
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
was doing
that's
yard work the other
that's
day.
the only thing that holds me back is forgiving myself.
Yeah.
For forgiving myself. But I wish that I had given you guys a picture of me when I was at my worst and just puffed out. It didn't even look like me. When I look back. But no, the regret is that's what I'm dealing with right now. So
Can't hear Will now, huh? Can you hear me? How about
I
me?
can hear you. Yeah, I
Can you
can
hear
hear
me,
you,
Tim?
Tim.
True. That's a good point. And like, what I expected to hear tonight. All right, I can't. She just said, "Will, I don't know what I don't know what he said." Well, I'm gonna kick you out. You're done for the night.
Well, I'm going back outside
See
to
you,
plant
Will.
some flowers.
Later, Bader. He's gone.
Oh God.
All right. So he has a notoriously bad internet connection. He's out in the middle of nowhere, and this happens like I don't know when it's cloudy. So he's
Welcome.
not usually this bad.
You've got mail.
So he's done.
Yeah. Whereas now I've learned coping skills. I didn't have any. I had always been taught to be the good girl, do what everybody wants, put yourself last, ta-da. And because I didn't have that distraction of my son and his friends and to distract me from the miserable way I was feeling, I needed something. I needed something else to cope. And unfortunately, that's what it was.
Like we have so many people come on here and like their stories, like as different as they are, they're all kind of the same. We all share the same thing,
Yeah.
We were talking about relapse last episode, and how we stigmatize everything. We put labels on everything, and people are so afraid to admit they used that they're going to just keep using. It's not black and white anymore like it used to be. And so as a beautiful woman, as a 48, 40, what do you say, 42, 41 year
I'm
old?
58.
38-year-old woman, beautiful.
38-year-old woman, you got her, baby. I knew I liked you, Tim.
For you to, what would you have to say to our people in treatment right now? We have a whole bunch of people sitting in the chairs right now. They're about to get their phones back and walk out the door. What advice would you have for them?
There is hope. You have this in you. You can do this. There's more support out there than you know. Love yourself enough.
I hear
Love
that.
yourself enough.
And not easier said than done, though, isn't it? It's like, especially in early sobriety, it's easy to, but don't believe what everybody's saying about you. That's how I used to relapse. I'm like, well, and I did it anyway. I'll just do it. It's
just do it.
Terrible justification, but that was kind of the same.
I am retired right now.
Okay.
I was a postmaster with Canada Post.
Were you really?
For a number of years, yeah. I transferred. That's DHL, dude. No, USPS over there.
What, this? No, not that one either?
The same thing. No, not that one either.
I have toys.
No. You got to have the little blue thing. I think you guys with the eagle on it.
Got it. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one.
This one, right?
Yeah. So, and it's not an easy job.
No, I could imagine.
Did I love it? Oh yeah. Did I love dealing with the customers and all the bullshit? And no, but then I would go home at night, crack that bottle. And within a couple of hours, it was like, dude, all is right with the world.
So you did your partying like this was it. Did you ever wake up sick? You ever wake up like with the shakes, anything like that?
No, I didn't. Believe it or not.
That's good. That's a good sign. But
it is, and I'm really surprised at that. Now, when I moved here to Halifax in 2010, when my husband and I separated, did I party? You better believe I partied. My son and his friends, and I would go, to the parties, and then it got to a point where mom was at these parties too much. Right. Even though I was the cool mom and the,
Right,
you
I
know,
know.
and I would go to his house and I'd cook for him, you know, loaded and dancing all over the kitchen. I felt great.
Yeah.
But mom was going to too many of these parties, and
Hmm.
mom drove a little too often under the influence.
Right.
Thank God in heaven, I never hurt anybody. I never hurt myself. I never got caught. How I had that guardian angel on my shoulder is beyond me,
Yeah,
because and my son had to have a talk with me. And he
that's
was
tough.
like, Mom, I know that you've always been, you went from being somebody's daughter, somebody's wife, somebody's mother to, and now,
Yeah.
you're up here, you're trying to find yourself,
Yep.
but Mom, we don't always want you. Like in our, like, no offense, Mom, right? And
I
like, I
know.
was hurt, but I didn't let on.
There's a fine line between believing in that life and living that life. And we,
Oh,
for you, I mean, I'm so blessed to have met you tonight because you remind me
oh,
of,
thank
like,
you.
I would say my sister, but you're just very sweet and kind, and you have something to give. And I'm so grateful that you came
Well,
on here and
thank
did
you,
that.
Tim.
Oh, I mean it with
No,
all
I
my
really
heart.
appreciate you, having me on. This is really, it's scary for me because, like I said, some people who are watching it, because I shared the link, right? But
Yeah,
some people who are watching it, are they going to judge me because they didn't know that I'm an alcoholic? Maybe.
probably,
But you know what?
probably.
Screw them.
See that, and that's what comes with 10 years of sobriety, people. That's clarity and that's perspective. What she
Yeah.
has, and a lot of us are just trying to gain. And I you're my best friend for life. I'm so proud of what you of what you've done. To start using it 30 years old like that, you have an entire life. There's a 1.0 and a 2.0,
At a
and now there's got to be a 3.0, and you're working on that, and we're always working on the 3.0.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not just for me. It is for me, but for
Yeah,
my family.
yeah.
For my
People
family,
do.
they suffered too. They
Yep.
suffered something terrible. My sister
Hmm.
told me she knew I was an alcoholic the first time that I got angry at my husband that I needed to go to a restaurant so we could have a drink. We were taking her out for supper, right? And they don't
Yep.
drink. And she said, I knew then you were a goner.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
something was wrong. So, they're proud of me too. We all want people to be proud of us. And
Sure.
it's for them too, but mostly for me.
Well, I mean,
Mostly for me. I'm worth it.
exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel the same way, and I feel like if I harness that energy, it just comes back on me, and that's what keeps the cycle going. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just being nice to somebody, sometimes it's helping somebody do something, but it's always being available, and that's something we never were in active addiction. We were never available, not even to ourselves. And our disease would talk to us in our own voice. We think we're coming up with these great ideas, and an alcoholic is only under the influence when the cops get them. Other than that, they're just a person that drinks. This is my life. I'm not a, and then kill somebody.
They say it's only against the law if you get caught, right?
Exactly. Yep. And you're driving, and believe me, you are in good company. We've all done the same thing. We've all driven drunk, and not even drunk. It was just normal driving. It was just.
It was to me too. And I was probably out on the 102 doing like 70 instead of, I don't know because I was drunk.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Booze is something else, though. I'll tell you, I was I was a heroin user at 20 years old. I got clean. I got my shit together. I was good for like 15 years, and then me and my wife split up, and then I fell apart and all that shit. The old midlife crisis sob story that reignited my addiction. That was from 20 years prior and dealt with.
Yeah, I get that.
And it showed up in the form this time of alcohol, and that's not my thing. I don't like the way it tastes. I don't like the way it feels, really. But like, it's just not my thing. For someone who knows what it feels like to inject cocaine into your arm, that is just doesn't. I'm good on that. But when it had to become my thing, it was my thing. And I'm not an alcoholic, but I drank alcoholically, boy. I'll tell you, I will. Like Fireball, all that shit. I was a mess.
Yeah.
And that was the worst part of my life is when I threw drinking into the mix. Other than that, I was just a casual drug user. No big deal. That was a lie I told myself. But yeah, drinking was so bad. And I have this guilt. I carry it around with me to this day when we talk about it, that I should have killed somebody. And like that, what a selfish a selfish thing you could do and put yourself in a situation. And like, yeah, I'm ashamed. I'm over it now on the show. I've come on enough times to say my piece. Everybody knows me inside and out. But like, that's something when I hear it, I'm like, what? How irresponsible and
Right?
reckless could you be? And I couldn't believe it. Larry said unresolved events from our past are one of the most serious causes of relapse. Exactly. Yeah. It had been my experience that we need to work on our end to address the issues and try and understand why we did what we did. We did what we did. That's what it comes down to. Hey, Bethany, where you been, girl? Like we say all the time on the show, you know, we the addiction was a symptom of the problem, and we would treat the symptoms, and that's what you're supposed to do, but it's not. And it's you know, to pump the brakes and get a perspective on it. You know, it's unbelievable.
Well, I was very lucky. I mean, a lot of people can't do that. Now, am I still in therapy? Yes, probably will be forever. Were I not, I might relapse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like you're worth putting the work in. We're on what she calls maintenance now, like 3 times a year instead of, right?
Yep.
But I still like that because I'm still working on that guilt all these years later.
Yeah. Yep. As addicts, we disassociate guilt and shame. It's all one thing, and it's really not. And like for me to come, I realized I'm not a bad guy. I was just doing bad shit. And I, you know, I had a friend last week overdose and die, and he was. Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It sucks, and it's just
tough.
I just keep coming back to it these days. He is going to be remembered. His kids are going to remember, how did daddy die? Well, he was a drug user. He needed drugs. He was an addict. Family members. That's the legacy he's going to leave behind because he decided to take a pressed pill. I talked to him the night before. He was perfectly fine. Next day, he's gone. And like, I know, but like, that's why we have to do this, even when there's technical shit going on. Like, we have to show people that
we're all right.
I know.
We got
it's usually will. You know, so I just,
of course, I figured that.
I just identify with your story so much, and everybody else does. Do you have any mental health meds or anything like that?
I am. Yeah. I am on mental health meds. And here's the thing. I was on them when I was drinking. So, you know, that's going to completely fuck with your emotions, right?
Yep.
It's going to take everything and turn it upside down.
Yeah.
And I had a suicide attempt in 2011. Took a 40-ouncer of vodka down to a lake. Right. Gonna I drank almost the whole 40-ouncer apparently, and walk into the water. I passed out. My husband called my parents, my parents still live in the valley. You know, she's missing. I can't find her. And I had a bit of a breakdown like that day. And I thought, I can't do this to them anymore. I cannot do this to them anymore.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was in a quarry. And luckily, the guy on the night shift driving the truck through the quarry saw me instead of squashed me flat. He called an ambulance. By the time they got there, I had stopped breathing.
Wow.
So they brought me, of course, I don't remember the ambulance. I don't remember anything. They brought me around. And because of that, I have some brain damage. The prefrontal cortex. So I have some executive functioning. My memory is horrible. I can, you know, I'm on disability now. I cannot learn. I seriously cannot remember things. Terrible short-term memory, terrible. It's all terrible.
Yeah.
All I have going for me is my personality now, Tim.
I love it. I love your personality.
But this is what the booze did. My mental health meds were no longer of use.
Of course.
And I did it out of love for my family, even though you see it now, right? I can't put them through this anymore. Yeah.
So like when you all right, you in 2011 when you went down to the lake, it was in your mind, I'm going to end it. You had it in your mind, you were
100%. 100%.
That's interesting. Cuz like I tried to kill myself once, and there's no way I should have woken up from the amount of drugs I put in my arm. I did it as
thank God for small favors.
Right? And I'm like I look back at it, it's disgusting, but like, you know, it's also a very stark reminder that it doesn't take long for me to get back to there. It took a long time to get here. It'll take 2 seconds to get back there. And that's
Right
something
on. Yeah.
I have to, yeah, it's something I have to constantly tell myself. And that's control over the past, whether it's running you or whether it's helping you. Me these days, I look back when I think of getting high, I think of what I did, not what comes with getting high, and that's progress. Because it took a long time to get here. So I'm 3 years sober, and I just thank you, and people love we do this. We blow a horn. I just it was marred by my friend passing away, but at the same time, I am so much different than I was at 1 year sober than I was at 2 years sober. I gotta imagine it's progressive and just keeps going, because here you are, you're able to come on a podcast, talk friendly with someone you don't know, and we're able to identify on the addiction level, and that's that's powerful. I mean,
for sure.
You want to call me at 3 a.m. and shoot the shit, I'll answer. Absolutely. I always
good.
do.
That's good to know. You never know.
But we have this platform that's such a blessing. It's just turned into this thing that we could never have experienced or imagined. So
I had to leave some people behind when I first got sober. My drinking buddies. My drinking buddies. There was one lady that, and I'm still not in contact with her. I would go and stay at her house, and she was rum and I was wine, and we would drink till we passed out. Just drink till we passed out. I went partying, with some other friends, and I dropped them all on Facebook, not to sound, you know what I mean, because I needed them out until I could heal me.
Yeah.
And absolutely. I have, and two of those ladies I have back. We're now old ladies who meet for lunch. We don't party anymore. But did you find that? There's some people you just cannot have in your life anymore.
100%. And these guys that are getting out of treatment and they get their phone back, we tell them all the time, change your number if that's really the problem.
If that's what you have to do.
If that's what you have, extreme measures, we call it harm reduction, whatever. We throw we dump a water tower on a small fire to not necessary. So for this, it's just I'm just so grateful for this. So when you relapse, I mean, how many times did you ballpark? How many times did you try to stop? You think I'm stopping, this is it, or was it just start to finish?
It was no, I didn't.
Gotcha.
I didn't think about it. I mean, it's after my son talked to me, I'm like, okay, this isn't normal.
Yeah.
But it had such a hold on me, and I was so obsessed. I could not imagine me sitting there without a glass of wine beside me.
Yeah.
I got asked to help out at a children's camp one year. Didn't go. Couldn't drink, right? Couldn't drink. It literally ruled my life. Yeah. My life just revolved completely around it.
It's funny. And here we are 10 years later, and I can see you're reliving it like it was yesterday, as you recall it. And that's how we all are in these situations. But I'm God bless you didn't kill yourself, because that is something I can only identify with people who did something to themselves, cut themselves or whatever, made the move to kill them. But now I realize addiction is a form of slow suicide. We don't,
it is.
So we're so lucky to have what we need is community, and we need stuff like this. So to give you a visual reference, me and Will are down here in Georgia, and the other two boys are up in Saskatchewan, obviously. And our friend is all the way over here, about five clicks down from the live sign. But I get to do this. I get to meet Tanya, and it's great. It's such a blessing. I have myself. I have two kids, and they half of them wouldn't speak to me for a long time, and they were now they're 22 and 20 or 19 or whatever, and they're adults, and we love each other now. We grew from my mistakes. Larry says, until the day I sobered up, it was never a problem in my mind, so I never thought of quitting.
Yeah, exactly, Larry. Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Man, and that thought, I can't get through this day. It would terrify you. Me too. Like if I ran if I was on a run and I ran out of drugs, or I misplaced them or something. You want to talk running your life. So that's why anybody, it doesn't matter if you're 20 or 50, it doesn't matter if you're man or woman. We all have the same thing, and we all can connect on that level. Because when you tell me your story, I'm like, holy shit! It's like I'm back with you 10 years ago. It's just. It is it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's all it took was that one glass of wine. Yeah. And that's, if I were to have one sip, there's no way. Yeah. There is no way. And I'll tell you what's really hard is going down south.
Why
the first time you go down south that you can't drink, right? Because it's everywhere. That's rough, but as Jenny knows, it can be done. Yeah, it can be done. I was first down there in 2013, right? And I didn't give it up to 2015. So my friend and I got really pissed off because the pina coladas weren't getting us drunk because they watered them down, right?
Yep, bottom shelf.
I said, I got you, girl. So we drank wine like all evening. And finally it was like, dude, we're on vacation now.
That is so funny.
But I go down with my mom. She likes to have a drink, and it doesn't bother me.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Does it?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah. Do you remember what was like your first wedding or your first, function where you were sober for a few months or whatever, like early on?
A vacation, I think. 6 months, 8 months after I quit, my mom and I and my aunt and uncle went on vacation to Vegas. My uncle drinks beer. And I actually found a great non-alcoholic beer in the grocery store called O'Doul's. We can get it in Canada now.
Ewy.
And and it was so good. Yeah. So I sat out by the pool with my uncle and I had a beer.
Good on you.
And it was good. It was really, really good. Now getting a non-alcoholic wine is, they're getting a little bit better with that.
Yeah.
And I do, if it's a nice non-alcoholic wine, I'm fine. But for the alcohol, I just have no desire at this point in my life to ever. It's been, I've come too far, and it's been too many years.
Absolutely. I mean, it's, I'll bet there were times in that 10-year span where you weren't sure whether it be life happening or whatever. You're just like, holy shit! Like, it's, for me, it's like panic attacks. Like, I can't breathe. I have this weight on my chest, and it leads to bad decisions, and we spiral. And like when we say, if you used last night, just take a day off your day count, because using once does not mean you have to relapse and destroy everything again. Unfortunately, in our lives, that's how we look at it. Some of us, and it's just, oh man, I'm so grateful for you. Are you a hockey fan?
It's like a food addiction. I went from drinking. I mean, I was, puffy from the drinking, but I went from that to food.
Yeah.
I had to have I still didn't have the coping mechanisms. Yeah. And I ballooned up to 242 pounds. I have lost 70 pounds now.
Wow.
I have about 20 more to go to get to where I want to be. That's why I teased you guys about the round face on the character, right?
You. I know.
It's like, dude. But so that's another accomplishment that I feel.
Yeah. Are we talking this one?
Yeah, it's like, dude, come on, look at this beautiful heart-shaped face here.
I know. It's AI. It's their fault.
I'm just kidding.
Growing up, I was a graphic designer in the 90s, so like that was a whole different world than it is today. And I use AI as like a tool for fun, but it's crazy. Bethany says she likes that you're living on life on life's terms, not only surrounding yourself in recovery environments, and that's what we're all kind of doing. Yeah. Bethany and all our friends are making here.
Thanks, Bethany.
We're just checking in, and that's all. If that's all we can do that week, that's all we do. If we're short 3 guys tonight, and it's not that big of we have to come on and read daily reflections and have that on a screen in a rehab somewhere. That's my responsibility. Other than that, like, 221 shows. It's been a long road, and we've seen a lot of death. We've seen a lot of people fall off.
Mhm.
We've been fortunate enough not to get any rivalries or anything like that, but that may be coming. I don't know. People are people. But I have to rely on my sobriety to know that the decisions I make are clear, even if they're wrong ones. At least I made them with a clear head. And it's kind of a tough thing to get around early on, but like you start to realize. So do you have like PTSD, anything like that, like or like bipolar? Like I am bipolar, depressive. That's what you would categorize me
I have
as.
something called dysthymia.
I've heard of that.
And you have heard of it?
I think I have. Yeah,
Yeah, I hadn't until the suicide attempt. And keep in mind, that was in 2011. I still drank till 2015.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they brought in a psychiatrist who questioned me. I was still half out of it, but I remember my parents flew up here, from the valley, just hit the car and hit the road.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of remember them talking to a doctor out in the hallway, kind of thing. And he diagnosed me with this dysthymia. Now, growing up, I'm just like this. I feel no ups. I used to feel, they call it double depression, because you're sliding along, just barely surviving, and then something happens and you nosedive.
Yeah.
And that was what had happened to me. So I thought everybody felt that way, just no, that's not normal.
It is not normal.
But the drinking helped me feel.
Right. It's so, like we always say, we didn't have a drug problem. We had a me problem. There's a reason we had to self-medicate. You know what I mean? There's a reason we're doing this, whether it be trauma, whether it be, and some of us have the gift of perspective. We're able to look back and see what we did and not repeat those things. But it's just been such a blessing to me tonight. We have comments here. Larry says, I've never used again because exactly where I will end up and how long it will take. Right, exactly. We know that where it's going to go. We just play these games. Larry Foster, same. I know that all that's left is death for me. Jails, institutions already happened. Exactly, Bethany. And like all of us that are together,
God love you, Bethany,
kind of doing this thing, we all all kind of feel that way. Like we're hanging on by a thread. We all are. And if we come on and pretend like we're not, then this thing isn't going to work. And to have Bethany and our friends out there, it's a beautiful thing. It really is. Bethany,
this has been really good for me to share the story, because I've never sat down and said, hey, this is what happened to me.
Actually, what I'm going to do right now, it's just give you a couple of minutes. Is there anything like you thought you might have missed, or I'll just whatever?
No, I don't think off the top of my head. I just want to reiterate to people that you sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you can look up and see the stars. Right. If you're laying in the ditch, look up, sunshine, because those stars, they're for you.
Yep. It says, I spent most of my life thinking in a melancholy fashion, and when things went south, they really went in a heartbeat. And for sure, I get it. Yeah, like Eeyore, you know what I mean? Like, But like, if you put the keys to your happiness in somebody else's pocket, you're not going to be happy. We're waiting on them. We're expectations, all that stuff. And she said, Chuck says, thank you for being so open and honest with us, Tanya. Tanya, I what a blessing. Thank you for coming on, talking trash. I couldn't thank you enough. We'll have to have you on again. Like we make friends. Certain ones we keep, but this has been great. Thank you so much, Tanya, for coming on, talking trash. What an absolute beauty she was. Holy shit. Man, we get good guests on this show. Even when nothing's going right, the whole fucking thing is falling apart. We get through it somehow, some way. It is the G word. Oh boy.
In closing here on Talkin' Trash Podcast, we read an NA traditional reading called Just for Today.
That's for God. My mouse isn't scrolling right. Sorry. All right. It's important for you to know that you will hear God mentioned at NA meetings. What we're referring to is a higher power greater than ourselves that makes...
Welcome
You've got
possible
mail.
what seems impossible. The IP22, welcome to NA. Most of us come to Narcotics
got
Anonymous
pictures.
with a variety of preconceptions about what the word
Final's
God
done.
means. Many of them
Goodbye.
negative. Yet the G word is used very regularly in NA, if not constantly. It occurs 92 times in the first 102 pages of the basic text and appears prominently in a third of our 12 steps. Rather than sidestep sensitivity, many of us feel toward this word. Let's address it head on. It's true that NA is a spiritual program. The 12 steps offer a way to find freedom from addiction through the help of a spiritual power greater than we are. The program, however, doesn't tell us anything about what we have to think about that power. In fact, over and over again in our literature and in our meetings, we hear it said, the God of our understanding, whatever that understanding may be. We use the word God because it's used in our basic text, and then because it communicates most effectively to most people a basic understanding of the power underlining of our recovery. Use a fucking comma once in a while. The word we use for the sake of convenience. The power behind the word, however, we use for more than convenience. We use that power to maintain our freedom from addiction and to ensure our ongoing recovery. Just for today, whether I believe in God or not, I will use the power that keeps me clean and free. So there you have it, everybody. Be good out there. Tanya was awesome. The show all cut up and fixed, but she was a beauty, absolute beauty. What a blessing that was. So just for today, if you're feeling some type of way, dial 988 or text 988. If you have a suicide or a crisis situation, Narcan saves people's lives if it's available. And all our shit is on our website, trash-podcast.com. If you're getting out of rehab, they give you your phone back. I would trade it in for a new number, but if not, download Meeting Finder and Meeting Search. Get to some meetings. There's date counters. You can count your days. All kinds of stuff out there. So there's no way to. Thanks, guys. Thank you. I was scared. I was all by myself. You can get connected to people in recovery if you want to. So there's no excuse, boys. And Larry, we're grateful for you. Are you kidding? I mean, we have such a bond around here, and I hope Tanya identifies and takes part in that as well. So Anthony Cuco, I see why Jimmy would do this ridiculously. Anthony on Sunday. So that's it, everybody.
Welcome. You've got mail.
We're good. Thank you, everybody who supports us and listen. And we will see you on a Sunday.
Let's go, baby.
I was scared. I was all by myself.